few more rounds of combat rather than just insta stabbing?
Don't worry.
I'm not saying don't insta stab him.
But yeah, I guess uh 1 second,
Give
I'm
me a
on the
moment, let me
blue
get everything
honey
back up.
mech.
Because technically, obviously, stab him as soon as possible because that gives us the most increased chance of winning. It's just I don't know. It feels like we're kind of narratively speed running it a little bit. This is like meant to be the climactic showdown fight. You're meant to be on your last legs before you get up one last time, make some
Okay,
shonen
so
hero speech, and then do the stab.
so, Lightrow, as you're approaching, hopping out of your mech, there is a blast of energy that comes from this being as you feel yourself being pushed back into your seat, as your drones are as a temporal wind of energy rises up around you and your drones.
I motioned that the seven-tailed cat may roll to psychically resist.
Boo.
Unfortunately, that does not work in this case.
It.
As as the energies are too chaotic for you to be able to properly launch the PDRAAT.
We need the true
It's the
protagonist.
PD rat.
Yes, exactly, PDRAT.
PB, when will the true protagonist come? We need the space wolf.
So, as Lyrel, your mech is being torn apart by these temporal winds, you all hear a roar. A roar of a dragon.
That's Paradox. That's
As
gotta be Paradox.
as as Lyrel's stuff is being torn apart and destroyed, she being left within the cockpit as Millie is doing everything in her power to try and hold it all together. Who would come from the tearing open a portal through the veil? But the Almighty. Hold on.
Mr. Bone?
Paradox.
Aw. Good
I,
enough.
I can't touch him.
Oh, hold on. Hold on. I need to give you permissions. I'm sorry. Hold on. I need to give you permissions. One moment. Slays this. There you go.
There's a big dragon.
As Paradox tears through, and on his riding on his back is the space wolf.
Yes!
Yelling in a language that you guys can't truly understand as Paradox growls out, grabbing hold of Lyrel through the cockpit and putting her within the mech within himself.
Lyl's gonna definitely grab Millie's containment as she's being pulled out.
Oh, of course.
Paradox, you alive?
Well, duh, I wasn't gonna kill him.
Paradox just gives a slight huff at the notion that he could be destroyed by such a simple being.
Yeah.
He is a proud dragon. As Paradox gives control over to you, Lyrel, as it turns to face the manifestation of Ra.
So you'd all see something interesting because Paradox is in fact a mecha. As he stands up on his hind legs, his neck seeming to retract and move down his back as his head lowers down to become like almost a shogun mask.
Ooh.
Then he would hold out his hand as you'd see the crystal in his chest turn red as spindly crystalline energy flows down through the right arm, and then protruding from the hand, it grows and morphs until it forms the lance.
Oh yeah!
Unfortunately, we do not have any artwork for this,
Fortunately.
but the theater of the mind will have to do in this case.
Behold, the true mecha I built.
Ah.
as Lyrell, you stand before this being looks down to you. As it seems to shift to stand up to meet you.
Lyrell's holding her spear as she looks at it. Then she opens a calm line to Jericho.
Mm-hmm.
Jericho, I'm not smart like you are. I don't know how to rationalize. I don't know how to strategize. I'm an engineer. When something's broken, I fix it. And I'm a Rem. When something's dangerous, I run and hide. But there's nowhere left to run and hide. And you've seen these fleets. They're already coming. You've been to the future. You know where this leads. I can't let that happen. I won't let that happen. Engage Saber engines. Engage hostile takeover. Engage reinforced cabling. Engage gravitonic crush. Initiate wheel space blink sequence. Initiate deeper wells. Millie, begin metavolt alignments. Ramjets. Locking field. Cloaking fields. Activate heat shunts, explosive vents, deep storage. Begin the Walk of Kings and align Conqueror's path.
As she is saying these things, you all watch as Paradox seems to shift and ready itself. Engines aligning, the crystal wings seeming to ready themselves for the motion that is to be enacted, gripping the spear tighter.
You see, as Lyra's in this comp sync, that it almost like she is de-aligning, like multicolored facets of herself, or fractaling off as Paradox begins to thrum and shift, as massive wings begin to expand out of him.
Walk of Kings, that's the system from the Emperor, though, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
You took a lot of licenses. That being said, it's a really nice system to have.
Perpetuum mentumum drive unshackling. Begin reality unalignment. Initiate causality separations. Temporal space barriers. Rending. Veil breaker. Initiate beyond the veil drive. As Paradox crouches down as she holds out the spear. if we go to war with these things, it will never end. So I will end it before they can go to war. Well, that's fitting. I click Glance of Longinus and look what it gave. It aired. No, that's funny because me and PB actually set up its stats and most of its stats are just error.
Okay, remove the error things from the stats and just click it again.
Okay, 1 second. Nat 1. I'm using this as my Weevil. There we go.
Alright,
God.
that's a lot more fitting.
Oh, fuck's sake! That one.
Okay, luckily she used her reroll.
Yes.
Oh, dear lord.
Wait, what are those tags? God. Glitzer.
Rat,
Rat.
unique, paracosmal, exotic, reliable, unquantifiable, AP, temporal. We kind of threw everything in the handbasket for
Woe
this
be
one.
ye of immortal kin for the that shall fear seven, kill the nine. For God is in his heaven, and that is fine.
What does Lyrel say as everything activates as she charges at Raw?
Jericho? I'm putting you in charge of the forge. And don't worry. I'll be back.
You better.
And if you ever tell anyone I said you're smarter than me, I'll say you're a drunk pervert.
You already say that!
You already say that. Alright. So, Lyrel, you charge forward, bringing up the lance, and slamming it into the creature before you. The creature tries to grab hold of it, tries to stop it, but its hands don't seem to do anything. As you all watch the energy of the lance pierce through it, building up and up and up and up until breaking as it launches through Ra, and everything seems to go quiet as Lyrel simply vanishes.
Is that it? Where did
You
Lyro
all,
go?
you all are, you all are left inside of this room. The entity that was in the middle is gone, and Lyrel is missing.
Can I send out a status report to see what's happening outside?
Yes, actually, you're able to get radio signals as the fleet is reporting that the enemy is seeming to disappear. The enemy seems to be disappearing slowly and almost imperceptibly. it seems to be disappearing slowly as ships are seeming to fizzle out. Creatures seem to be disappearing bit by bit. As before long, you all see, as you are all seeing as well from the outside, the ships seem to be deconstructing at a molecular level, disappearing entirely as they are finding themselves without a source. The portal is gone, seeming to have been closed in an instant, with the corpse of Ra simply remaining in space, floating, dead. You all are able to pull yourselves. You all are able to find your way out and onto the surface of Deimos, and you look up into the sky and see Hephaestus Prime standing proud, uh, as it has not been taken and the galaxy is saved.
Question, BB.
Yes.
Is Benny's soul okay?
Yes.
Okay.
You all stand up here, unsure what to say or even do, as you all look up and just feel a little bit content as it's finally all over. Ra's dead, and also feel a little bit empty as Mirelle is now gone. Where she went or what exactly happened to her, none of you can really say. As as the as you all eventually do call for pickup. Eden sending a dropship to pick you all up as Jadul is able to pull the Starship Velociraptor free from the planet itself.
Gareth just glances down at his console just to check to see if a certain blip is blipping.
Are you searching for Lybrel's blip?
Certain blip is more not so much that it's searching for Lyrel's blip, but more just a confirmation of something that will allow him to know roundaboutly Lyrel's status.
The blip
Just a
is
little blue light just blinking. It's like quantum tracking engaged.
the the tracker doesn't detect anything. It is blank.
I mean, he still needs to plug it in.
As you guys are heading as you all are and as you guys are heading out, the Starship Velociraptor would call you all to Jadul would call Jericho to the Starship Velociraptor. And when he boards, her physical form Jadul would hand over a letter.
I will read the letter.
Reading the letter, it seems to be something just a simple letter. Naming is a simple message, naming him first mate, and well, him being the only first mate to still be serving, making him the de facto captain.
Wait, I'm captain of the Velociraptor?
Yes. Jadul
Yeah,
doesn't really explain why she has this, simply that she just had it and she knew she needed to hand it over.
That doesn't seem right.
As you guys eventually return to the flagship of the Union fleet, Eden standing on the bridge dealing with the damage reports from the entire fleet as the fighting, though only lasting maybe half a day, still was chaotic and destructive. It was still chaotic and destructive as everyone is standing on the bridge. Eden looking at a mail, some sort of mail she had gotten, and she would just sigh. So, that's what she wanted. Well, seems like Lorel had made her claim to the world that she wanted.
Oh,
She claimed the kill. She's claiming the corpse of Ra. Well,
an interesting choice.
yes, indeed. It's not exactly what I expected from her. Though then again,
Meanwhile,
she has changed a
I
lot
shall
over
lay
these
claim.
years.
This is true. I shall lay claim to the forge.
Not exactly a planet, but she's kind of
Might I
shrewd.
Not
remind you, the
exactly.
Forge Master already gave that to Lywell.
And then Lyra gave it to Jerry. Okay, I mean, technically it's mine already.
Yes, she did put you in charge of it.
And then I'll figure something out.
There's still plenty of worlds for you to be able to claim.
Indeed.
I already claimed mine.
Yes, I know. Eden just says, petting the Benoi. We picked it out together.
Is this all over?
Well, that's the thing.
Is it?
It feels like it is, but the enemy's dead, Ra is gone, but Nyrel isn't here. What happened in there?
Uh, a lot, but it was all very quick.
We killed Ra, and she activated literally the everything button.
She might be back. She probably will be back.
She will be back.
Mm-hmm.
However, she is effectively Schrodinger's cat right now.
I.
I was hoping somebody would realize that.
Yeah, no,
Ancient Tome
I saw what you
philosophy.
got to do.
Of course.
She is everywhere and nowhere, as she is currently zapping around the entire planes of reality and unreality, using the Lance of Longinus to kill basically everything of Ra's kind because they want to invade. And
Dang.
making
You-
sure that they don't invade kind of requires wiping them all out.
Oh, I didn't actually expect you to put it all together.
So she's.
Oh please!
Wow, she's certainly come a far
That's
way. Vecna would be proud.
that's not even me pulling. That's not even me pulling a Jerichoism. That's just mecha anime. You literally hit the everything button.
Eden just just seeming very surprised, blinking a moment. I was not expecting that from her. She has certainly come a long way. She has certainly come a long way. Vecna would be proud. But there is still much to be done. And, well, she'll come back whenever she does.
Benny just pokes.
Eden just looks down to the Benoi. Yes?
Points up. You're retiring. Somebody else is picking this up.
I still have a few more things to get done. Then I'm going to be retiring. But for now, it's a time for celebration. Not every day we can
Well-
say that we killed a god.
Well, Benny just picks up Eden
What are
for
you,
once. He just walks away.
Benny? What do you do? What do you, Benny? What do you...
Mating press.
Eden's just silent, just like You've been waiting to make this joke for a while, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
Of course you have. Ida just sighs and consigns herself to this fate.
Well, I'm guessing it's over.
uh,
Or is there a few
well,
years like
so we
later?
have the post-action report where everyone is bit. So as the so everyone so it is quite a few years down the line. Eden and Benny have retired from being lancers and are enjoying a fairly peaceful life on the planet that they had claimed together. Enjoying just building up a little life for themselves as they are finding themselves as they find themselves a very fun find it very fun and enjoyable as they continue on with their lives and build up a nice little community build up a little nice home and eventually community for themselves. As they as a few years Jericho, you begin with your enterprise and creating your own company. Well, not creating, but definitely running your own company as you find yourself growing as you find it growing quite nicely over the years as eventually with the Bleak Gate being open and you being able to access the Union markets, it's surprisingly very nice.
You're then also able to flood the Union markets with ultra powerful tech that puts skunkworks to shame. It's just like, yeah, you
Does
wish you could
this
afford me now.
does this mean we can all finally go FTL?
Well, one of the major research projects that many sides are beginning to work on is true FTL engines. As blink travel is still the primary source of travel, but with the news of Ra's death and him actually having been one of the greatest threats to humanity, Union is working on creating a true FTL engine, but with the REM already having a fairly uh, high head start, they have their work cut out for them.
Jericho also beginning the creation and integration of true AI.
I
Our
imagine he
names
does it
on
and
the
he's like, "Behold, the jewel life." She just then bops him on the head.
are we all on the front
It's just
page
like
that we
just the annual stock meeting. Jericho walks in. Gentlemen, behold! I have created Digimon!
Digimon, digital monsters, Digimon are the champions. So I
are
love Digimon.
And Rock can no longer stop me!
are we all okay? Are we on the front page that we killed God?
Yeah, no.
Yes.
This is news that reverberates around you guys for years to come. As the Lancers that were able to kill God.
And somehow, Lyrel is never featured because she was never there to be interviewed.
Though the Lancers will always claim that the Rem named Lyrel had truly been the one to deal the final blow, due to the fact of her not being available for interviews, she was rarely, if ever, really mentioned. But
Lyrel gets all the front page talk and stuff. She's not available for comment because she sacrificed herself in the attempt.
exactly. So as the years go
Or
by,
That's the official story, anyway.
Yes.
I mean, she was just the combat mechanic meant to support the team.
As the group, so as you all are so as all your lives are going on botched, I imagine you just go on and do medical things. I don't really know too much about your character's wants or aspirations to really get a good idea.
Caesar, wait, Caesar, are you gonna go with that funny thing you wanted to? Caesar, hello? Like, look the fuck up. Are you on your bed?
No, I'm right here. I just can't really hear anything because there's a TV running behind me.
Yeah, sure. Where's your character? You gonna do the funny thing?
Remind me what the funny thing is?
I was rolling this three of the same dices and going somewhere.
Sure. Well, am I gonna have to roll until I get three of them, or I'm guaranteed this amazing effect?
I think we can just say that you're guaranteed it and just disappear into the void.
Oh yeah.
The story of Bosch is yet to be concluded.
As he just vanishes out into blink space, never to be
Yeah.
seen again. Having dared to go too far to the sun or something like that. So, years later, after the corpse of Ra having been disappeared at some point, the queen having become successor, and many years having passed, Jericho, Benny, Eden, and the boys, yes, seem to be drawn to a location. A message from an unknown party, from an unknown individual requesting their presence.
Jericho shows up in his full mech body at this point.
With Eden, yeah, I imagine just Jericho at this point just went full cyborg.
He still looks moderately human, though.
Yeah.
We're not that far in the timeline that he's just gone. I eschew the human form.
When I discovered the weakness of my flesh, it disgusted me. But so
PB, can you look in DMs?
yeah, I am. Don't worry. I have everything under control. So I have like you and Slaya spamming my DMs. Give me a moment.
Sworn.
Give the PV a moment. God damn it.
Oh, I have to go pee.
Okay, give me a
Okay.
moment. Okay, I'll take a moment. I need to drink some water. God damn it.
Okay, now I have to go piss.
Objection!
Overruled.
Defense rests.
Verdict.
Not guilty.
Adjourned.
Sorry.
Alright, wrong thing.
Sorry, I just brain blanked. What's going on?
Slay and Guardy had to go use the bathroom, so we're just waiting a moment.
Um,
I'm back.
Hello.
Is Slayer back?
Not yet.
Hello, I have returned.
Aha.
Hello. Ah, yes, right on time. Alright.
Oh, wow.
So, so at some point, the part they are called to the. They are called to this point as Jericho. You get to see Benny and Eden after a long time. Eden is no longer wearing her military uniform, but she still does wear a few of. Still wears a few pins in her new outfit.
Benny looks smug, and that's about it.
as Eden is also holding what looks to be a bundle. Well, not a bundle, but more of a child. As she as she looks over to Jericho and just and gives him a wave. It's good to see you after all these years.
I found it. This is the Benui and Eden in retirement.
Exactly.
Yes, it is.
Perfection.
Perfection.
But Eden is holding a child as her and Benny are on the ship with Jericho. And as
Benny,
oh, yeah, sorry.
Benny just points towards Jarek and just says, "Now you're an uncle as well."
This is Jericho just being like, yeah, fair.
Yep.
As the child just gives a wave. Hello, Uncle Jericho.
Hello.
And as you all approach and find yourselves here, you all eventually find you all will find a ship. You all will. Sorry, my bad. Details. Yeah, here it is. There'll be a sudden tremor in the hold you guys are in on this ship. The ship is quite a bit different than anything you guys expected, being a strangely designed ship that none of you even really recognize the design of, as suddenly there is a tremor, a shake, and out from a rift that is pulled open in reality is the mech dragon. Actually, hold on. I actually have a room that actually be perfect for this. One moment. Where is it? Where is it? Ah, here we go. As you guys are kind of like waiting like right around here. Like right around in the bottom, like put on your normal tokens, not your mech.
Oh, no way.
As from seemingly nowhere, the the mech would appear as Paradox stands tall and proud. One moment. Let me just throw down that token. Nope, damn it. Stand tall and proud as the cockpit opens and two people seem to come out. Lyrel and Shard, reintroduce yourselves.
The two stumble out with one seemingly entirely made of crystal, though as light catches on them, their form seems to shift between stone and skin as they attempt to put one foot down before having to stop themselves with one of their many tails as they seem to be learning to walk for the first time. And the other one slowly moving back the long hair that is almost pooling at her feet, trying to not get tangled up in it, as this is the least graceful you have ever seen a Rem.
She does still bear some crystal tails of her own, but you don't. But there does not. She still does bear her own crystal tails, but they do not seem quite as. How do I say this? It's quite clear that she is either A, exhausted, or quite a bit of power has been drained from her.
Oh, the
Oh.
sermons. You couldn't have gotten yourself a haircut.
Cyril opens her mouth, but nothing comes out as she closes it again, then looks down, then frowns and opens it again and closes it again. And then she
And you
opens
have
it. Eh, ah.
Lyra, be careful. You've been gone for. She
A
just takes a moment.
while.
You've been gone for about 10 years.
Lyra slowly shakes her head and just holds up 6 fingers.
No, no, you've been gone for 10 years for us.
Lyra, like, shakily tries to pull out data pad, but fumbles it as it takes the both of them combined before they manage to catch it. And it just kind of floats there as the stylus levitates and points at a few things. Jericho. You receive the mission time log. The clock shows 6 seconds, but the amount of blank data recorded in those 6 seconds maxes out your storage.
So you're saying it's been 6 seconds for you, but it's been 10 years.
Lywell slowly shakes her head and points again to the maxed out storage.
I mean, you'd have to be maxing out Galvanon Stone at this point, though.
Yes.
Yeah, she did. She did max out Galvanon
Alright.
Stone.
All right, just making sure that we're all on the same page.
Like, Lywell sits down. It's not so much she sits down, it's more of just she was not balanced enough to stay vertical.
So just more
Mhm.
flops.
As the other one just kind of flops on top of her.
Yeah, no.
And then, just laying on the floor, Lywell looks up and slowly smiles as tears well up in the sides of her eyes.
Paradox would
It is good to have you back.
Paradox would move up and kind of nuzzle her a bit before standing back up proud and looking to you all and just give a soft nod and a huff as a lance of Longinus appears within his hands. And then he simply walks back into the rift that he opened.
Reassuming dragon form before wings spread, disappearing.
Yes. Lyrella and her sister, quote unquote, spend about a week. No, about 2 weeks in the med bay as they are recovering from God knows what they have been through.
Lywell spends time recovering, whereas Shard seems to need to be taught the fundamentals of everything. And then, laying in her bed, Lywell would look up at Jericho and the Benui.
And Eden.
I did it.
Yes, you did.
Well done.
You promised you came back, and you did.
Uh-huh. Oh. Here. Lywell reaches into her pouch as she pulls out one of the magic wands, though a bit broken. It's the best one I could get. And slowly hands it out to Jericho.
This would be the staff, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you did promise that thing.
Sorry it took so long.
Well, there's someone I'd like you to meet, Eden says as she will hold up a child who looks to be about 3 years old.
You made a little you.
Eden just kind of giggles. More true than you realize. Don't know how he did it, but somehow he actually got me pregnant. It's
Blame the Forge Master for this. I did ask him
Lywell
something in the back.
pouts. You didn't invite me to the wedding?
well, the wedding was a while ago. Well, the wedding happened before we were able to reach you, but it. How do I explain this? You're kind of the wedding kind of happened while we were trying to get to Pandora.
Yeah. Happened a while ago.
I'm sorry, Lyra. I know how much you love this stuff.
Oh.
We can
But-
always celebrate again.
But, as she says, as the child would kind of like waddle up and like grab Lybrel's hand, Auntie Lybrel!
Little Lywell like tries to pick with the child, but her little arms don't. But then she just kind of, with a bit of effort, levitate the child the rest of the way onto the bed.
The child giggles as you levitate them.
That was a lot easier. Some time, space? No. Jericho, what does it mean when something isn't now?
You mean the past?
Yes, the past. That's a word. That's a thing. Does the past exist again?
Yes?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
Lyrel,
okay.
you're gonna need to take some time to recover. It's gonna take
It's
a lot
just
longer than we thought. Your perception
will.
of time and space might be a bit skewed right now.
Oh, that's right. We only use those two, don't we?
Are you telling me that there's more that you've seen out there?
uh, Shor comes over, kind of just like floating upside down as she gave up trying to learn to walk, before dropping face forward onto the bed and then just kind of tussling in the sheets for a moment before getting herself vaguely upright. Shor then looks to all of you, and as you blink, suddenly you're in like a mindscape overlay. You can still see the faintest edges of the room, but everything else, like a hollow deck. There were more than we ever could have thought,
Huh.
but Paradox initial systems were inspired based off the Nelson design. It has a special momentum drive where after it strikes an enemy, it can move in a straight line and strike another enemy. And if it kills that enemy, it can move in a straight line to strike another one. So we overlaid reality and removed all concepts of causality, thus direction couldn't exist, so everywhere could never not be straight. And by doing that, we then moved faster than light to achieve true darkness, so that we could go through the metavolt straight to the next target before time elapsed. But when you kill one of these things, you gain it. It's indescribable. It's a balloon. Shard kind of slumps. Yes, sister, it's a balloon. That's a description.
So
We
Eden just kind of like looks at the two of you, just like, okay, what's the whole situation here with you and Shard?
Shard holds up a thumb as she like flops over in the bed. There was too much. A paradox is beyond reality, but sister's body wasn't. It would shatter every time, and I would rebuild it, but there was too much, and then it wasn't, and then it was, and then it wasn't, and then it was, and then I didn't when I should have hadn't, and then wasn't but is. And as that kept happening, we thought different thoughts, and thinking different thoughts was all there was, a thought, so we were different because we were not the same thought. And then we were this. And I took the burden of the mind, and Lyrel provide the motivation, and Paradox took the weight.
Huh. So,
In beyond causality, beyond space and time, there was only will. intent. Every time we killed one, we then moved again through the Metavault. We dumped the heat, the energy of our actions into there to continue on again. Weldon speaks up. I don't think I'll ever be able to use it again. It's now the densest star ever recorded. We just dumped the exhaust and the accelerator heat into it, and it just kept building bit by bit. And now it's a star. As we went across reality and unreality. Have you ever absorbed a god, Jericho?
You mean other than Ra?
Oh, you also absorbed Ra?
Wait, you said observed.
No, absorb.
No, I cannot say that I have.
She's slurring her words a little bit. Give it a moment.
Absorb.
No, I cannot say that I have.
Well, when you do, you gain what they were, and they were omnipotent. Having a mind stretched omnipotently is not fun. I had so many tails at one point, they couldn't physically exist. But then Paradox took them, and he kept taking them. Each time Paradox took them, he took the burden of infinite omnipotence. And he held me, and he held Shard, and he ran, and he kept running. He ran down infinity until the end. And then he broke through that infinity and started all over again. There were so many of them, and they're omnipotent. You only get one chance. So we never stopped running until there was no more end to infinity. But now we're safe. And we can... Oh, yeah. Lywell reaches into her pocket and pulls out her Lancer cord. Then she just sets it down as she pulls out her Bullshitium Mark IV Arc plasma torch and just stabs it.
Edith just giggles. Don't worry, you're already retired.
Oh, okay, good.
That was one of the first things we
Paradox
did
should
after.
be delivering the ultimatum to Thordcom soon.
Oh.
Ultimatum?
What exactly is the ultimatum?
Don't you remember? Remember, that's the word for when you had thoughts that aren't now, right? Yes, sister. Remember, it means the thoughts that aren't now, but Does it mean the thoughts that aren't now or the thoughts that haven't yet?
Okay, so the ultimatum, what exactly is it?
It was something we discussed with Vecno a long time ago. Very long time ago. I think we were one person back then.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you two were.
Well, since I have the Forge, and it has the Vecno class ships, and Paradox said that he would help, we're going to tell Union that they're gonna pull out of Hep space completely, and we can be friendly neighbors, or they can face the wrath of the one who killed God.
That is quite the ultimatum.
I feel like they'd accept that.
Honestly, at this point, yeah.
And thus, Hep space will be safe and can continue on without Union's interference.
True.
I'm gonna lay down now.
Alright. Eden will just give her a pat on the head. You rest up. We'll talk again once you're more recovered, okay?
She's already passed out and Shaw's kind of half dangling off the bed, suspended by the sheets she's tangled up in.
That's way too adorable.
Benny's just gonna take the child.
As you go to take the child, you feel a tug at your wrist, and you realize you each have one crystalline tail wrapped around a wrist.
I think she wants us to stay here with her for a bit.
Alright. Least we can do.
After
You also notice, Orby isn't here.
where did Orby go?
Where is Orby? Where's the Space Marine? I was about to ask, where'd the Space Marine go?
Space Marine?
Who was riding the dragon?
No, Eden is asking Space Marine? But Eden is asking Betty, what do you mean by Space Marine?
Oh, it's a name we gave some person we saw before. Long story. I'm wondering where he is.
Huh, I wonder too. Cutting over to an alternate dimension.
Oh boy.
A space wolf and a brother of unknown heritage collide hands together.
Yes! Orby's new adventure.
Now come on, brother. Let us go and see what the foul enemies of man can throw against us. For we shall be invincible together.
And Grave, you would receive a slew of emails, stuff like, the captain is back. You may now return to being first mate.
Mm-hmm.
He perfectly understands that his position was fully temporary.
I feel like Jericho wouldn't be the same without Lyrel there.
And so time once again passed. For everyone, life continued. Slowly over time, as Eden and Benny would grow this colony, would grow this world, and slowly build it up into a colony. As people would come from all over just to meet them and eventually start settling down on the world. Lyrel would fully retire from being a Lancer and being the Spear of the Ren deciding to retire by simply opening up a machine shop.
She's keeping the Velociraptor.
Oh, of course, it's her ship after all.
Obviously.
So, why are we all retiring as like extreme legends that have killed God and decided to like open up like a little small shop in the corner and stuff?
Exactly, like Rel owns a small corner repair shop. She's the successor of the Yavin. Eden, a legendary NHP
Okay,
commander.
so if you look in general, this is all the reasoning you need for what Lyrell's been doing.
Lyrell for the last infinity. Yeah. Infinite impact events.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point for everyone, they would receive an image of Eden and Benny relaxing after a long day of work on their little home.
Yeah.
If you look in general.
Oh my gosh! Did you commission somebody?
Yes. This is something this was only $20, by the way.
Love it
It's
so
Eden in the
much.
design I made of her with the Benui.
Yep.
Yes.
Like again, this was only $20.
25.
Or 25.
Oh my gosh, they
yes.
made the Benui a goal.
Okay, to be fair, the
But-
Benoi is pretty feminine looking. They are tweak.
Just saying, with those hips and those boobs.
Those hips do not lie. Shakira, Shakira.
But yes.
But yes, but for now, this story ends. Perhaps there are many other stories that could be told of past events or alternate timelines, but for now, the story of these Lancers, of the 15th Expeditionary Fleet, ends. Ends with the galaxy reborn anew, with a future bright and unknown ahead. Minor details that have been resolved. The Ravager has been absolved of his crimes. Though he still believes him and his group are guilty, they have dedicated themselves to true protection of the HUS and the people of Stone, as exploration of the rest of the galaxy is well underway by all. Many new alien species to meet one day, and who knows what is to come. Commander Eden, Benny, Jericho, Lyrell, and many, many other Lancers, both new and old, some who have passed and some who have gone down in history. For now, their story all ends. And perhaps here's a good point to end this story of a long, long time, and simply wishing to rest and relax with a simple life. And that is where we shall end the campaign.
I don't want it to be over.
Neither do I.
Now
but
I'm
it's-
crying.
as each one of them creates their own little life, wishing to enjoy it to its fullest. Lyrell would go on just to simply run her own little shop, introduce some minor laws to HUS, and also just, in general, be with her friends and family. Though her family may not be bound by blood, they are bound by something stronger. Friendship and shared traumas. Jericho would go on to create a very successful company of Hellfire Industries. Jericho, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Jericho would go on to create the very successful company of Hellfire Industries, wishing to carry on the name of his good friend Vecna.
Wait, I was about to say Vecna. Where's Vecna?
Yeah, shouldn't we have gotten him back?
Vecna decided to stay within the Veil, wanting to study stuff within it within his custom-built observatory.
Okay, so like Lywell did rescue him, but he was like he didn't want to come back.
Yeah, he's wanting to study the Veil and see what else there is out there. And perhaps act as our early warning should any other threat like this should appear.
I like to imagine Jericho would ask Lywell questions of what's out there, and Lywell would be like, I knew at a time, but that's omnipotency. And you can't not be omnipotent when you're omnipotent. So now Paradox knows that, and he's not telling.
Paradox went on to become a god. Though many do not know what kind of god he is, simply that he is one.
It is now a known fact that you don't try to harm the realm, otherwise you cease to exist.
Paradox is technically the new Ra.
And this one's much more, and this one's a much better cat owner.
Yeah. This was a much better cat owner. And so, with it all coming to an end, for now we close the book. Perhaps another timeline will maybe pop up. Perhaps another future. Perhaps another story. For now, the end of the 15th Expeditionary Fleet story. And I will say, I am trying my best not to cry.
It's okay. You can cry.
It's an amazing campaign.
I've had a lot of fun.
It might not be the end.
Could I ask the DM some questions?
Yes, you can.
So, is Shard still an Eidolon in her own right?
Essentially, yes.
And what level Psycho is Lywell?
She's essentially an Alpha Plus at this point.
Okay. But she didn't cross the Psycho horizon.
Not yet. She is a very powerful Psyker, though.
Okay.
She is a very incredibly powerful Psyker with her now being...
Did Millie stay with Lywell or go with Paradox?
Millie decided to stay with Lyrell.
Okay. Did Jewel ever forgive Lywell for leaving her on a dead body?
Jadul is more confused about how Lyrell left more than being angry about being left there. She's more actually angry about being left in the care of Jericho.
I mean, Jericho took care of him.
Oh no, he did, but she's still just a bit angry that that was so sudden.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
She had to make a lot of split-second decisions, and her gut reflex for who would best be able to look after the warship Velociraptor and utilize it properly in the coming chaos was Jericho.
To say that there was chaos was an understatement.
Because Lywell had no idea if her plan would actually work.
It was basically a Hail Mary.
One thing I will say that I am truly glad and grateful for
Yeah?
is that I had a wonderful, fun campaign with my best friends and the Banui and
Okay.
the Mord was there too, I guess.
Bosch was
And
very
also
wonderful.
that I don't have to bother using Lancer's bullshit system again.
But it was a fun game.
It was incredible, and I will remember this for the rest of my days.
Same.
Grave, would you like to narrate what Jericho's doing?
I would if my focus didn't. If what was in my head hadn't completely decided to just disappear.
I'm sorry, did I take too long?
No,
Hmm?
my brain is just doing not focus right now.
You're fine.
What have the boys been using their new legendary plans?
The boys went on to become fairly successful mercenaries, with years upon years of work and with their fame of being taught by the legendary Benny.
Bonoy, sometimes called in for emergency missions of babysitting.
But they became fairly successful mercenary lancers. Well, maybe not lancers, but definitely mercenaries. And as and would often stop by to visit Benny and Eden and their slowly growing colony as years and years go by, as little place that they would call home slowly became a full blown colony.
Yeah. So this sort of feels like when a campaign ends.
I, I imagine the scene zooming out with all of them in their individual lives just walking together.
Yep, with eventually fading to black. Story is as the book closes, the story of Lancer reclaiming the law of the past. that is
Hey,
that is where I'll end the stream.